We'll finish with Mr. Posey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I was a little bit confused, Professor Warren, by a couple of your answers or discussions with Mr. Bacchus, and so I'm going to ask a series of questions because we have a lack of time.
Sure.
And if we run out of time, you can respond to them in writing. If you'd be kind enough, you don't have to. And
Of course.
if we have time left, we'll go down the road, but I don't think we're going to have that kind of time left.
Okay.
If I heard you correctly, you mentioned banning certain products,
No.
and I was wondering specifically what products you recommend to be banned. You indicated that some products are complicated to understand, but agree that complicated disclosures are ineffective. I'm not sure if you oppose the high risk or if you oppose the way they have been described, and if you could clarify that, please. You mentioned a safe harbor for pure vanilla, and I was just wondering where you draw the line of what's pure vanilla and what's not, with the wide variation of experiences and knowledge that the citizens of this great country have. Some people are seem to be asserting that our citizens are incapable of managing their own risk, and it makes one wonder, who will decide on our behalf what is an acceptable range, and who's going to tell me what risk I'm allowed to take and what risk I'm not allowed to take, what I can pay and what I can't pay. Much of the complicated disclosures that everybody's been beating to death today are a result of congressional or state regulations that were as well intended as what's before us now. And the result is you tell a company they have to disclose something, and if it takes 45 lines to do it, they're going to do it. They don't particularly care if you like it or not. You told them to do it, and that's what it takes to keep them out of court with the lawyers that you're training up there. It sounds like we're talking about an agency that we should probably change the name to. We should probably be talking about a federal department of reward without risk, or guaranteed reward without risk, which is kind of oxymoric, since that's the principle upon which our financial system was built on and the free enterprise system seems to evolve on. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we can have a federal department of prosperity without risk or work. One wonders where this is all going to stop if we continue trying to think the government is going to solve everything by taking responsibility away from people to make their own decisions. I think we all want them to make informed decisions, but where do you draw the line about intruding into my ability to decide what kind of a mortgage I want, what kind of a fee is acceptable to me? There's people that get better credit deals than I do because they have more money. And there's people that have maybe less opportunity because they don't pay their bills. I mean, are you going to take that latitude away from a lender to make those kind of decisions? And ultimately, what kind of consequences do you think the market is going to bear? And do you think there's going to be no consequences in the overall cost to the consumer? When we talk about the consumer, first and foremost, before we talk about a single credit card holder, or we talk about a person taking out an individual mortgage, I look at a consumer as 400 million people in this country. They're all consumers. They're consumers of what we make here. Some of what we make here is good for them. Some of what we make here is bad for them. But they're all different. And the typical government approach that one size fits all, this is the way you have to do it, and everybody has to live with this, doesn't seem to be a real service, I don't think, to our consumers most of the time.
So thank you, Congressman. I'll start by saying the person who was talking about banning products actually wasn't me. It was Mr. Yingling who embraced that notion.
No, I was quoting the administration's proposal.
I thought you said that you believed in banning some certain products, certain credit products.
You can. All right, I'm sorry. I agree with that.
That he did.
But it's in their proposal as well, so.
Well, and he said he embraced banning certain products. You ask about complicated disclosures. That was exactly my testimony. Complicated disclosures don't work. We have a problem now, and part of the problem is brought on by a bad regulatory structure.
I heard that. My question to you was, you said you didn't that some of these products are very complicated. And so obviously, the disclosure of them is going to be very complicated.
So,
Oftentimes you can't simplify a disclosure of a complex equation. It's just, and so my point is, were you talking about disallowing the complex items themselves, or the complex?
The gentleman's time has expired. There won't be time to answer the question.